Damn, flaky.
Okay, Boomer.
What's up, guys? Hey, sorry we got a little late start. How's everybody doing tonight? Yes, we are doing a full Boomer Council tonight. We're missing one of the three. We've got another guy right here. I think he had to make a little potty break there for a minute.
Who, me? No, I'm good.
Nah, yeah, you're good.
Hey, look, I disappear.
What? 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 Stop this magic.
That's what happens when you give me too much time to play.
So yeah, Mr. Two Star Wars Nerds will be here tonight. He's just he's out walking the babes right now. Mrs. is preoccupied, so he'll be here in a minute. We just had kind of an interesting pre-show. We were talking about Honda Baba's arm and pooing and peeing, and it was just kind of a real interesting pre-show. We can kind of continue on that though. We were talking about how much better sometimes the novels can be than the actual movies, and we were talking about A New Hope, but I really kind of tonight I wanted to talk about Empire Strikes Back, to be honest with you. I'm wearing a hat for a reason. Kind of want to talk about the Empire Strikes Back, and I know Matt Rissman is going to be so excited. Oh, there he is. Because the hat's on point. Yes, I was gifted an Empire hat. That's the only reason I'm wearing it. It makes my scalp burn, but I'm wearing it. What are you gonna do? How you doing, Obsession?
Burn it to the ground. Good. I'm good, man. Just chilling. Good.
Floating high after last night's stream.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Good time. Lots of chit chat. So it was good. Good time.
Did we get a time frame on when we're going to get that print?
No. Heavens to Betsy, no.
Heavens to Betsy.
Heavens to Betsy, no. No, I mean, like I said, I kind of feel like the best stuff comes from patience, and I want that piece to be a certain way. So I feel like I want her to be in the right headspace to create and not put a time stamper on her. So yeah, that's kind of the direction I'm going with it. I'm just going to tell her to take her time.
I think that's the right way to do it. I said the same thing with mine, and it's been months now. So still waiting.
Well, I mean, it took me a month to get her. It took me a month and a half to get her on the stream anyway. So
yeah, that's fair. Okay. All right. So we're talking about Empire today, and we can talk about anything you want to talk about, but I think I kind of want to start with a story perspective from Empire Strikes Back. Do you think it's better than A New Hope, and why?
Well,
let's start with one. Do you think it's better than A New Hope?
It's more action packed. It's darker. I mean, it just depends on your perspective on storytelling and what you're interested in. I feel like the first movie was fantastic, and it gave us a great jumping off point. But Empire, gave us a darker, grittier side. It gave us some Boba Fett. I mean, there were some dark things in A New Hope. Boba Fett incinerating the uncle and aunt, I think, is pretty gruesome.
You're not letting that go, are you?
No. That's something I've thought of for a long time, and Empire kind of solidified it because he kind of makes a point to Boba, and he's like, "Hey, no incineration. I looked right at you. No
disintegrations. No disintegrations.
Is it disintegrations or incinerations?
Disintegrations."
Mm-hmm.
But you have to realize too, I mean, if George had this in his mind, how are you going to show that Boba Fett disintegrated him, right? It's not going to show, anything. But if you were going to really disintegrate a human, what would be left? I mean, how long was he gone? And then he comes back and there's nothing but skeletons laying on the ground. That's not a job for a flamethrower. That's a job for somebody who disintegrates people.
Yeah. I mean, it's all pretty much the same. I feel like it was definitely something that's more Boba rather than, stormtroopers shoot Jawas. At that
Right.
point, they weren't rolling around
If
with
they can hit them.
flamethrowers, everywhere. Right, right. And that's another reason why I feel that. See, that's another reason. Kenobi says at the Jawa transport that
Come on,
these blasters are very precise. Well, who's more
right.
precise than bounty hunters, right? And who's more ruthless than bounty hunters just leaving Jawas hanging around, right? So I kind of feel like that whole thing was like, yeah, it was Empire based, but I feel like that had a little more bounty hunter feel to it than just
Yeah, it didn't just feel like Empire regs when you walk back on the homestead and it is scorched earth, man.
right.
And you see two skeletons. That doesn't seem like an incinerator trooper. And I hate to get real morbid, but I feel like you'd see smoking bodies if it
Mhm.
was an incinerator trooper. You wouldn't see straight up skeletons. Now, I know that they weren't thinking about that when they were making the movie, but it feels like a disintegration, doesn't it? Like this is definitely a Boba thing.
Well, and like I said, I feel like taking out a Jawa transport and killing everybody is more of a bounty hunter, a little more ruthless than your average reg stormtroopers. Because wouldn't they have wanted to bring the Jawas in for questioning and really dissect
How
what's
are you going
going
to
on?
question a Jawa, though? I mean, let's be honest. Ooh, teeny.
They got translator droids. Come on, the Empire's
Not
got
to
good.
mention they smell. Do
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
they communicate
And
through pheromones?
the eggs,
Disgusting.
the Zugas. So
Hey, by the way, Mama Bear, I just wanted to let you know I received my coin today, and it's actually sitting, I think, on my counter. I was supposed to bring it in because I wanted to open it up. I'm so excited for it. Thank you so much. I'm really excited. Something else that happened in the Star Wars universe that kind of relates to that made me really happy was when Din Djarin just started vaporizing Jawas on that
right.
sandcrawler in Mando 2. I don't know why I felt like it was just kind of like it felt like retribution for some reason, even though they didn't do anything wrong. They've been doing what they've been doing forever, but just seeing them.
I mean, you can't just leave your car in a bad neighborhood, right?
Yeah,
Like, you just
I
can't
get it.
you can't just leave the keys in it and expect to come back and it not be on blocks. I mean, come
I
on.
get it, but it was like an hour.
I mean, hey, you've never walked in that neighborhood and been like, I should not leave my car here,
But for
right?
like an
Like,
hour, man,
I
they got
mean,
like
there's some
NASCAR
neighborhoods.
tools. They're taking the wheels off and stuff.
This is Tatooine, man. I mean, come on, there ain't nothing there.
That was a great episode. I feel like that one is so underrated. That episode is awesome. I think that the only part that kind of like I didn't feel really great about it was because we'd seen so many kind of like Taskmaster episodes at that point, but
Mm.
it was the most video game like you have to go fight the boss and get the egg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a good episode. It did show his vulnerability.
Right.
It shows that being on your own is not always a good thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like all of those Ugnaught episodes were great. I feel like
Yeah.
those were real good informational episodes. So I don't complain about a lot of the I don't really have any bad Mandalorian. I don't really think any of the episodes are bad, to be
I had to
honest.
highlight this really quick. I feel so bad. Spyro, okay, so when you messaged me that, I did pull it up and it was like 6 pages of reading and I was at work. I was still at work and I'm like, when I stop, I'm going to read this. And then, of course, my boss calls me and I get it. So I promise you I'm going to read it. He's got apparently some really awesome theories about, his name's not Bowser. Haircut, scar on his face, Bad Batch.
Hauser.
Thank you. Bowser, I was close.
You were close. Bowser's
Yeah.
princess.
It really hasn't pulled me in enough for me to get like super invested on it. But the guy's got like a lot of really good ideas. I kind of like really quickly looked through it and there's some stuff about the 501st in there. I like it. So we'll check that out. Maybe we can talk about that tonight on the stream when we move into Bad Batch.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think Hauser is a unique trooper, but at the same time, I kind of feel like yes, all Order 66 went out to everybody. But I feel like unless there was a Jedi on your planet, it didn't really mean shit. Like the rest of the troopers are acting very cut and dry, and maybe Order 66 makes them more pliant. But
like, what if you're just stationed on Geonosis? Nothing's going on, and you hear execute Order 66. You're like, well, what does that mean? Like half rations? What?
Well, I mean, and look at look at what happened with Crosshair and Wrecker. There's no Jedi around them. They're just around people that are disobeying. Well, Hera disobeyed, but I guess none of the troopers. Well, I guess Hauser kind of disobeyed. So why weren't his subordinates like, "Hey, got to execute you," right? Like this is kind of the interesting part of it is that all the rest of the troopers are acting very Order 66, except for Hauser,
right?
And he's in command. So
he seems kind of fed up to me. Like he's just kind of fed up with the Empire. Like, he served the Republic for this long. He's had a very storied career. You can tell. I mean, his face is half blown off at some point. You can see from the scar. Yeah. But every time somebody tells him to do something from the Empire, he just seems like, ugh.
Well, and a lot of it is, and that's what I'm saying. I wonder if he is a Generation 1 clone, number one, because I feel like Generation 1 clones have a little more resistance to inhibitor chips.
Right.
Maybe it was a version 1 inhibitor chip and they came up with a better one in the version 2 clones, and they honestly didn't expect the version 1 clones to last this long because they are just interchangeable pawns. But it seems like, Cut didn't have any Order 66 tendencies because there was no Empire around him at the time. But I mean, we didn't see Hauser's, chip, unless his chip is malfunctioning.
He does have that big blast on the side of his face, though. Right. Maybe that did something.
Just go like all the way through and like take out the chip.
Could be.
I don't know.
Maybe he's just kind of like functioning on that good soldiers follow orders kind of like mantra, as opposed to actually being controlled by the chip.
I mean, maybe I feel like he kind of gives it away because he's like, everything's really tense right now. Right. He's like, you got to understand everything's really tense. So I got to make sure this isn't going to happen again. A clone under Order 66's mandate would not allow that to happen. So he's obviously not playing the game. I don't know.
Here's an idea. What if Rex already got No. Maybe
Rex is still trying to figure out how to get it out of everybody, not one at a time.
I feel like if Rex would have gotten to him, he wouldn't still be hanging out with him. You know what I mean? Right. If he'd have gotten to him, he already would have been out.
Right.
Probably, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if he knows that the rest of the troopers are being controlled, I mean, going back and we didn't see a scar, so there's no scar. I think that's a little.
I mean, that dude does have a scar, though.
No, but there's not one in his
on the head area, right?
So that's
maybe he grew his hair back already. Such a doubter sometimes. Come on.
In the week since Order 66 happened, I don't think that's the case, unless something happened to him in the past where he took a head trauma that they're going to give up. Because I think they might stay on Ryloth for this episode.
He's coming, buddy.
I think they might stay on Ryloth this episode because I think they got to show us the assassination of Mrs. Sandula.
Right. There's more to be fleshed out there on that planet before we go somewhere else.
Yeah. And because Crosshair's there. Right. Crosshair's there, so it adds to the reason.
Is he still there? I thought he went back to the ship.
He shot Senator Ta, and then boom, everybody's on the run.
Which is something I wanted to talk about. Okay, so Risman and I were talking about this, which is something that I didn't even think about until he kind of brought it up to me. Risman, by the way, shout out to Risman. Comment is not applicable, but I thought it was interesting that he said, "Thank you for playing your part
Mhm.
and then Crosshair shoots him,
Mhm.
right?
What's the question? They're going to tamper the footage to make it look
Why
like.
did they arrest them and say the attempted assassination of?
Well, he's definitely dead, but
Why would you say the attempted assassination of?
I mean,
He
maybe.
shot him in the Montrails, right? Because we got to remember there's Leku in Montrails. He shot him in the Montrail,
Well, maybe he's
right?
not
And they
dead.
didn't cover his body up. They just threw him on the cart and carted him off. And they said the attempted assassination of. Arrest them for the charge of the attempted assassination of. They didn't say the assassination of, the
Well, that's
attempted. And
just
I
it.
feel like
They're going to cut that footage up and make it look like he did that, right? Thank you for playing your part, you know. So yeah, I think it was a setup to it was definitely a setup to make the rebel cell active and then
right.
start, take over Ryloth, because obviously the mine is there and there's several more in the works, so there's something valuable there.
I just feel like we're really gonna get like the attempt on my life has left me scarred kind of moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's going to be
I
that
mean,
announcement from the top of the chain, and then eventually uh we're going to see her his wife get killed, and then that's going to start the Hera doesn't matter and Hera runs away.
mm-hmm.
And then that leads us to that leads us on to Kanan and her finding each other later in life.
Yeah. I mean, we just know Crosshair does not miss, right? Said right there. Crosshair doesn't miss. He could have blown his brains out, and then we heard the attempted assassination of. I don't think he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, there may be an announcement where, these are rebel criminals, and these are, sedition and traitors and all that fun stuff, and that's what starts the rebellion on Ryloth that lasts all the way up until Rebels. So that rebellion lasts for a generation. I would not be surprised if we see where were their names? Gleb. No, what were their names? The two that were with General Sandula in Rebels. We might even see them as kids. So
it's possible. It's not probably, but it's possibly. That could happen. Yeah.
I think we stay on Ryloth for one more episode, or they come back to Ryloth.
I need something more. That's all I'm saying.
Well, but you guys are also, so there's a lot of, this is something that it's kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say disappointing, but it's kind of expected, is that everybody expects everything that comes out of Star Wars to be, even the animated stuff, to be groundbreaking, right? And epic on seismic proportions.
No, I wouldn't
Wouldn't
say that.
But this stuff is needed. Like all of these episodes, the Martells, Sid, the Ryloth campaign, all of this stuff is connective tissue that's needed for the next evolution of Star Wars.
Right. So that's what you say, like the connective tissue. So I totally get that. Yeah, it's world building. That's what we're doing. The problem that I have with what's going on is I feel like, yes, stuff is happening, and maybe, like you always say, it's Filoni doing stuff that we don't quite understand yet.
Mhm.
I just haven't seen the fruition of it. So yeah, I'm a little antsy.
Yeah,
Like
everybody's antsy.
wrap it up. You know what I mean? Like I want to get some stuff.
Okay. So this is kind of like businessy for you and me. Do you want it good, fast, or right? You only get two, right?
Good and right.
Right. So we wait. Right? It's the same.
I know,
thing.
but I haven't felt the really good.
But you don't think the payoff's coming in the last two episodes like everything else?
Maybe are the Martell sisters going to be like Sith twins? I don't know. Why'd you bring? I mean, I know why he brought them back, because they were such a big part of Ahsoka.
Well, no, they're Ahsoka's only friends. outside. So like you look at Ahsoka.
Not her.
No,
Bail Organa.
her only. He's in the Republic. She can't go back. She's supposed to be dead.
Still a friend, though.
She can't. Right. That's the thing about this. At this moment, the Jedi Order is completely gone as far as she knows.
Oh,
Every
shit,
clone.
I said something about Ahsoka. Here we go.
Well, every clone is under Order 66 to kill her, except for the dude she's kicking it with. Who else in the galaxy can she reach out to that's not in the Republic, a Sith, or a clone? Right? So she's got to go to the two people that she met in the 5 minutes she was away from the Jedi Order, because they're the only people that aren't connected to the new Empire that could rat her out.
How's this page coming along, by the way?
I think they're important. I think they're an important part of Ahsoka's story, and I think that Dave wouldn't have written them if they weren't important, because he doesn't just write throwaway characters unless they die.
Right. And that's the other thing I think about with Hauser is like, you don't give a clone a recognizable scar and a haircut unless they're important.
And a one that's breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Right. If he was just playing along and like, yes, sir, let's get these right, then we'd be like, oh, that's just another commander, doing his thing. But this is like next level. What is going on here? Like, why is he? And I think it flipped everybody out. I don't think there's one person that's like,
I
know what's going on with that kid.
Yeah, nobody. They're teasing stuff.
So maybe
they're teasing stuff for sure.
Maybe they're going to explain it when they go back to Camino.
Well, and I think it's interesting too, every time they do something like that with a clone, but we don't know about them, which means we inevitably know that they're going to get wrecked at some point.
Yeah, I mean, he could absolutely die, and then it's just another face that's gone from the mix. But I feel like there's a little more to him right now, and I think he could lead us into maybe reaching out to Rex or reaching out to somebody like a Saw Gerrera that they had fought with before, because he feels like something's wrong. Like, everybody else is acting so weird, but I'm not. What's going on here?
Right.
Like that kind of conversation could be had with himself at some point.
My best friend, as always. Hi, buddy.
So, yeah, I think I think he's important. I think the whole Ryloth campaign is important. That's why
it is.
To us.
Well, I mean, look at Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They had a huge arc in Clone Wars.
Oh, and they had a finishing arc in Rebels.
Yeah.
So they played both sides of it. So really, it's everywhere.
They have a pill for that, buddy.
I heard don't think about it.
Yeah. Think about baseball.
Think about anything else.
Yeah. Think about Hauser.
I feel like there's a lot more. I feel like tonight, I'd like to see, what do we have? 5 left?
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna start
16. We're on 11, so we're moving to 12, right?
Yeah,
could be mistaken. I'm not doing Evil Ewoks anymore, so like my time frame is totally messed up on Bad Batch right now. I should be way more clear, but
you're not going over there anymore?
No, we've taken a 2-week siesta.
Oh,
I think he was kind of tired of watching the episodes and being like, "So what'd you think?" And everybody's like, yeah. I mean, we got the really cool Cad Bane stuff, so that was awesome. Yeah, okay, we're moving into 12. So after this, we got 4 left.
Yeah, and I think that I think they're going to start wrapping it up. We're going to start seeing everything start to tie together. So whether Hauser rebels and takes off with, see, that's another thing that could be coming. He could be the one that saves General Sandula, but in the process of saving her, the wife gets shot or dies of some, whatever.
That's a good thought.
He could be the reason, and he could die. Maybe both of them die trying to get her out, right? Like the wife and Hauser die, and he's like on the ship reaching out for them, and they don't make it and they both died or something like that.
You've clearly not thought about this.
Actually, that just popped in my mind. So yeah, that could be why they're making him special, is that he's going to try to help them get away, and then Sniper's going to two birds, one stone, through the heart, through the armor.
I don't have a problem with Omega. There's been a lot of hate for Omega.
Yeah, all great characters get great hate.
I feel like anybody with a Kiwi accent, I just love immediately. Like Taika Waititi is my favorite director. Like I don't even care what he does. Just when he talks about stuff, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, mate. Yeah.
Makes sense. Totally.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like she is. I feel like she's just so important that we're not even seeing the full scope of it yet. Right, like he's doing the magician thing, right? Like he's like, check out what's in my left hand, everything's over here, and meanwhile the right hand is like really doing the magic trick, right? Like he's totally rope-a-doping us right now, and I think that's why I think that the next 4 episodes are going to be fire.
I don't even feel like it's rope-a-dope though. I mean, like he's been throwing so much at us when it comes to Omega. So much. Every single episode, there's something else that's special about what she does. And we were joking and we're like, she's force sensitive. That's stupid. And then she's wrangling beasts. She's taming rancors. She's the best at Dejark now. And she's now good at a light bow. Like, I mean, she's been good at everything. And then beyond that, now...
I'm allergic to bullshit. I'm sorry.
She's Boba Fett's sister.
Yeah, well...
We just found out that Boba Fett has a sister, and that made no waves in the Star Wars community. No waves. Boba Fett has a sister, and nobody talked about it.
Well, and that's what I think unfortunately, her plot is a little more sinister. I think her storyline is going to be a little more twisted.
What if she winds up being an Inquisitor?
I mean, dude, like I said, I really hope that we get maybe a Boba Fett appearance at some point. But if I was a cloner and I'm running out of genetic material to work with, I need to create more. And what better way to create more than to breed 2 purebred clones to create a new lineage? Right. So I kind of feel like and I feel like there might be another Omega in a tank somewhere that she's going to find.
Oh, could you imagine the self-crisis of seeing yourself in a freaking test tube?
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
That might be a good angle.
I think there's a little more darkness in what they're giving Omega. I think, at some point, either she's going to see a room full of Omegas and, just
like they go back to Camino.
Yeah. Because at some point they've got to go back. At some point, right?
That would be rough.
Right.
Hey, I found somebody. He's right over there. Oh no, he's down there.
Where'd he go? Huh?
Oh,
hey! Yo, that stash is deep, Padro.
Dude, that stash has come a long way now.
I know, man.
Wow.
And I mean, like a year. So I've done this a few times. Like a year. A year's when it's like.
Did you act in adult films in the 70s? Because I feel like I've seen you before.
I get asked that question a lot, but no.
That was my father.
So listen to this. Boomer Council. The missus has a meeting tonight, and the internet goes down. And Boomer Council, of course, right? There's some disruption going on. But I'm like doing like the chat thing to like restart internet or see what's going on, without just the router. And Comcast says, I've noticed an internet issue that should be resolved by a gateway reboot, blah, 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 right? All this. And one of the options is literally not again. So it's just like, please, not again. So
not again.
Not again. So it's like I did that already as an option to say, hey, I've restarted it, and then there's another one that just says not again. And that's how I feel. Not again. Comcast. But
Hold on, I have to find this comment. Where's the comment? Hold on. Is that an
Everything and
actual
nothing.
question? Is that a real question?
Everything and nothing all at once.
We're never really focused. Original trilogy was definitely something we want to talk about today, so we're going to get there. But we were talking about Omega.
Your mustache is
Omega.
just taking over my fucking eyeballs. I can't even.
It's beautiful. I'm
It is
honestly jealous.
It is like Super Troopers stash right now. Like
Car Ramrod.
Ramrod, right?
Car Ramrod.
I had to go change my shirt because I had to go ahead and Car Ramrod right away.
Okay, all right, you hooligans.
I'm
Really
sorry, I got
back in.
distracted.
All right. So we were talking about Omega taking a run back to Camino with the Bad Batch and running into an entire room full of Omegas.
Whoa, that'd be crazy.
Wouldn't that be heavy?
Like tank after tank after tank of
like when she realizes she's indispensable. Like,
do you think she'd have a Vader moment where she would just like, and all the tanks would start crushing, and she'd go, no.
Have you seen the movie Moon, this independent sci-fi film? Can I spoil it?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so it's really good. So this movie Moon, basically it's following this guy who's on like a 2 or 3 year mission on the moon, right? And there's all the scientific stuff he has to do. And the date for him to go home is coming. And anyway, they're going to send something to pick him up, take him back home. He's going to go back to his wife and his kids and all this. And the ship doesn't come. All this stuff starts unfolding. And basically what you find out in Moon is that he's actually a clone. And so there was like this original engineer who was doing stuff, and the government, to save money, had like successfully figured out cloning and cloned him. And so basically he wasn't aware that he was a clone. He's basically told like, hey, you kind of got knocked on the head, all this stuff. And like he's recovering and remembering what he's supposed to do. He works for a few years and all of this. And what's crazy, is just like he has to go out and he finds one of the other clones dead in all this, and so it's just like his mind starts melting, and it's so I would love to see that with Omega.
This is like a terrible way to like exist.
Dude, it is so good. It is so good.
That'd be great for Omega though. Yeah, I mean that's totally a thing you would want to explore. Is like, yeah, I'm a clone, but I'm a special clone. And then you find out you're not special, you know?
Do you actually work on HVAC stuff, or do you just sit around practicing accents all day?
That's all I do. Yeah, I lie. I fake all the pictures. I just walk into businesses and like, can I get up on your roof and take a picture real quick?
Hey, mate, can I get on your roof? I got to do a picture real quick to fool these guys.
I got to do a thing.
Can I just give you... nah, we shouldn't go there. I was going to say, can I just give you a nationality and you go for it? But I feel like that's going to offend a lot of people really quickly.
It'll wind up getting me like canceled, but after stream, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Let it go, because anything you say, I can absolutely do it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Star Wars timeline. Yeah, I've been seeing your chats. No, this is not an open stream. This is just the boys. We just keep this one for the boys.
Just the boys.
Just the boys. We're all the losers that, you know, I don't know. We all kind of got going at the same time. So we're going to keep it this way.
The nerds got their 200th subscriber today.
Congratulations,
thank you,
good
Obsession,
sir.
for the shout out. Yeah,
we were lobbying for that nice and hard today. I was putting that everywhere.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Congrats on 200.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. It's a trip. We had like 7 subs at the beginning with our personal account and some alternate accounts that we puffed up that number and friends. And I'm like, we're never getting above 10, right? I'm like, no way we're getting above 10. So this is a trip, man. We were just planning on just making content, talking to the dead air, if that's what it was. But this is fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. We excuse me.
I just want to say this is a Topo Chico.
Topo Chico.
So when you see me, I'm not just getting getting sloshy. This is
What's a Topo Chico?
It is
oh,
sloppy as
dude,
you want.
it is great water. Fancy sparkling water with a twist of grapefruit.
This might be the comment of the night.
Skinny Paul Blart.
Skinny Paul Blart. Dude, I love Paul Blart, so I'll take that.
Stop it.
I'll take it.
Nice and hard. So anyways, yeah, I mean, well, I just can't. I love this stream. This is like, honestly, this is one of my favorites. I love talking to the community. I love Senda Hanger Bay, but you guys are just so ridiculous. I love hanging out with you.
I mean, this is the one we're supposed to have fun, right?
You want to
Right.
see some stuff?
Oh, I like stuff. I like tacos.
So check this out.
Is that a bald Jedi?
This is Luke.
Oh, that's a graduation Luke. That's a getting a
Yeah.
medal Luke Skywalker.
This is the one that Mrs. Two Star Wars Nerds kissed in her childhood.
No,
Yeah, she did.
seriously?
She would take this one, and
Is that the exact one?
this is the one from her childhood that her dad gave her. She calls it a Barbie, but I tell her
It's not a Barbie.
Don't call it a Barbie. And then
Call it a Barbie.
this, I got this courtesy
He's
of
blonde.
Mr. X-Wing and Mr. Grand Moff Rizman. This
Yeah.
Jedi holocron. Ooh, pretty cool, man.
You said the baby loves playing with that thing, right?
He does, yeah. That's why it's in here though, because I don't want him chewing on it. So
Yeah. That's fair. Did you get a crystal?
no, I don't have a crystal. I need to get one off eBay, but I'm a little afraid I'm gonna get like suckered and scammed.
It's going to be a piece of plastic with nothing doing.
So I
That's
got
where the
I got
Cave
something in
Kyber
today
crystals
too.
is.
I got a whole box of books.
Ooh, oh, Ahsoka, nice,
It's all the Ahsokas, yeah.
sweet.
So I got to send one to Kat. And that's what I was waiting for today. I just got that. So I got to send one out. And then we're probably going to do some giveaways, try to give one away. Yeah, and then just have a couple. I recommend
Who's
trying
that for?
to find any online because as the movie gets closer or as the show gets closer, I think we're going to see less and less of them on the shelves.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's fair. I think there definitely is going to be like a huge Ahsoka bump, but have you seen the prices of Ahsoka sabers on the
Dude,
goddamn
don't-
internet right now?
Don't,
dude?
don't. You're going to make me cry, dude.
That's why I sent you that link. I thought that was a really
They
good
were the wrong
deal.
ones. They were the wrong ones.
Oh, you want like the Ronin sabers.
I want the ones that they stopped making.
You don't want the Padawan sabers.
No, I can get those all day. I want the and see
Not
here's
that price, motherfucker.
here's this dude. It'll happen eventually, but it is uncanny
Yo.
because 6 months ago I was like, I'm gonna buy them. I just started my stream. I was like, I'm gonna buy a set for me. I'm gonna buy a set to give away. I was like, I found some in town. Let's buy them. Go pick them up. And then the little guy on my shoulder is like, you don't need to spend $600 on no lightsabers, stupid ass. And
And then
so,
Ed showed up on your other shoulder and was like,
do it. I didn't do
Oh,
it.
boy.
And now literally there's a set on eBay. No joke. $2,500.
Are you kidding me?
No, dude, I'm not. And it is.
They're not even good sabers,
No,
though. I
they're
mean, like
not.
the hilts are nice, but the sabers are garbage, dude.
All-
Is that the Galaxy's Edge ones?
Yeah, the Legacy Sabers.
Hmm.
So
They're
you
terrible, dude.
You can find them for like $1,100 right now, without the blades, just the hilts. But if you want blades and hilts and clips and all that shit, it's like.
Well, you know what you do, dude? You
$16,500.
buy the hilts and then you send it off to somebody put electronics in them.
I mean, really, it doesn't.
That's how you have to
Are
do
these
it. Like
are these metal or plastic? Like, are they full metal all the way through?
they're all the legacy sabers are full metal,
Okay.
but the electronics suck.
Hmm.
They're considered like NeoPixel because you plug the blade in and it lights up the whole thing. But they're horrible. They're horrible. There's no smooth swing. They're awful. The hilts look beautiful. So if you're gonna buy like a display saber, it's the way to go. But if you're gonna use it as like what I do with my sabers when it turns dark and Mrs. X-Wing goes to bed, and I'm like, wow, swinging around in the living room and hitting the ceiling and stuff.
dog-
They're terrible.
trying
Oh
to
yeah,
get you.
dude. Obi hates lightsabers. He hates them.
It's a giant stick that glows that's moving
Yeah,
around.
he's
in a
not a
circle.
fan.
He's like, give me that thing. I want to eat it.
I don't know.
So
I like my sabers.
So here is a sold version of the sabers, and this is $1,000 set.
What the heck?
Yep.
Yeah, that's $500 a set. What you could get on the internet for that amount of money is stupid.
Oh yeah, I know.
Stupid.
I mean, but that's the thing about collectibles is you never know what's going to hit when. You never know.
I don't know.
Are those Disney? Is that why they're so expensive?
they're the park sabers.
So I mean, I remember that video that recently came out with the Disney lightsaber.
Retractable lightsaber?
Yeah.
It's not going to be for sale.
What? Why?
It's not for sale. No, that's only for the Disney park hotel.
And was it like a bathroom pass? What do you do with it?
I would steal that shit in a heartbeat. Just like, teacher, can I go to the bathroom? Yeah.
Doink.
Dude, I mean, okay, whatever. I mean, this thing was ugly anyways. It was like, the hilt was like this big.
Yeah, but...
I mean, I get why.
That's what you get when you build the sabers too, though. At the park, when you go and you build the sabers, they're like...
Really?
They some thick-ass boys. Yeah, they are huge.
I haven't been to Galaxy's Edge.
Nor
I haven't either.
I haven't been to Disneyland. When I was last at Disneyland, they were still building out California Adventure.
Seriously?
It was a long time ago. Yeah.
How old are you?
29. Yeah, 29.
I got 5 days left in my 20s.
Oh, that's cute.
We were gonna go to Hawaii and Disneyland and stuff for like 30th for the missus and I. But we're like, now we're gonna wait a little bit because we want the little one to enjoy it. Yeah, we want him to enjoy it. And I'm like, I don't know why you bring a baby to Disneyland, but
it's so pointless.
It's the same reason you bring babies to Vegas.
I'm waiting for them to rebrand Galaxy's Edge because I am sure they're going to rebrand it as the Mandoverse.
Oh, they're already in construction on some parts.
And that's what I'm saying. So I follow, I watch Jay. He does the theme park walks and stuff like that, Drunk 3PO, and a bunch of other people. If you look on the shelves, the sequel trilogy stuff that's there is limited to the sequel trilogy store. So they have the first order post where you can buy the stuff from there, and then they have the resistance base. But every other store is filled up with nothing but Mandalorian stuff.
Really?
There's baby Grogu's everywhere. It's just all Mando because they're like, oops, we're not making money on this. Let's try to make some money on that.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm all for, dude. If I saw Din Djarin walking around at Galaxy's Edge in front of the Millennium Falcon, I would take a picture. Yeah, if I saw Rey walking in front of the Millennium Falcon, I'd be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just doesn't interest me as much.
I'm trying to find a picture of something. Have you guys seen this, I don't know if it's real or not, but anyway, it's pretty cool. It's like this mock-up of something called Lucas Land. Have you seen this?
No.
Man, okay. Well, I'm gonna.
Oh, are you talking? It's shaped like the Millennium Falcon.
Nope, not that. So that's the real one.
Is that the one that has Kashyyyk on one corner and all the different planets?
Yeah, that was my thought. If you were gonna make it, you got to make all the different planets.
So I'm gonna find a picture really quick. I just wanted to say it before we got found it. Sweet. So I'm gonna share. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. This is pretty cool, man. I wish this was a thing. Okay, let's see. Oh,
what?
Shoot, which tab is it?
Show me. What is it? I'm dying to see it now.
I gotta find the tab.
Hurry up!
I'm such a boomer, dude. I don't know how to get my internet back up. I don't know how to.
This is Boomer Council.
Okay, yeah. So check.
That's it,
dude. Check this out. This needs to be a thing. I'll zoom in just a little. I don't want to make it pixelated.
All right, so let's just tear down Epcot Center because who really goes to Epcot anymore?
And just make it a Death Star.
Death Star. Just do one renovation on the side, and a couple of exterior you know.
Dude, there's the Geonosian Arena. Oh my god! So the only thing I'm missing on here. Oh
water
nope, there it
park
is.
is so
I was gonna
cool.
say the Boonta Eve Classic, but it's right there.
The Nubian water park is awesome.
Dude, even Bespin, am I getting that right? Yeah, Bespin, it's just like this elevated platform.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like think about, wow, what is that at Disney? There's like that elevator ride. You know, that
Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The Tower of Terror.
So imagine that in Star Wars, but then you get to go, I don't know, go up a couple 100 feet in the air at a restaurant, like up in Cloud City.
Yep.
Some
Well, you have
artificial
little-
weather up there.
Little kid
Dude.
portion that's got little kids.
What would you do for Matterhorn here, though? What would you make that?
Oh, that's
That's-
Nubian. That's Nubian Mountain right there. That's
Which one is
Nubian
Matterhorn?
That's like
Nubian.
yeah, Naboo, right there on the right, top right, Naboo. You make Matterhorn the water slide.
So that was my question I had, and if somebody else knows it and I don't, okay. So the Naboo Engineering Corps made the N1 starfighter, which is apparently different than a Nubian starship.
Mhm.
Is a Nubian starship from Naboo? Because the Naboo Engineering Corps didn't make a Nubian.
Ah, Nubian, very expensive.
He's a deflect.
I
I don't know.
I honestly don't know.
So
I don't either.
You're the starship guy.
I should
Yeah.
know.
Too sweaty for me.
I mean, right now I only got a couple starships in my brain pan, and that's am I flying an X-wing or am I flying a TIE fighter right now? Those are the
Oh,
only
you
two.
talking about squadrons?
So
It's like,
I'm
how
telling
do
you,
I not get blown up.
that's my goal is to at least get one kill and not get killed by you so much.
So I love Theed, Mustafar. The only thing I don't see, maybe it's at the top. Oh, there it is. Yep, Camino.
That'd be cool.
And I would have even been okay if they did it where every stop along the row here was a different planet, but it was a store. And then they had themed rides. So my thought was like they would have a store that was like Camino, and you walk in and it's misters and there's fake clouds and thunderstorms and stuff like that. And you can buy a whole bunch of cool like clone stuff there. And then you move on to Mustafar, and when you walk in, there's heaters that blow on you, and they have the LEDs with like the fake magma everywhere, and you have to walk along platforms, and you can buy a bunch of Sith stuff or like a bunch of like Vader things there. And then you move on to a different spot. You go to Theed, and you can buy like all the figures. Like I don't remember the name of that creature that bucked off Anakin in the field. You remember what I'm saying?
I
He's like
know
the
what it
snorty
is.
cow thing. I don't remember the
That
name
ugly
of
thing.
that creature, but you know that like stuff like that.
Well, and
That would have engaged me so freaking hard. I would have gone there and spent untold amounts of money.
Dude, you know what would be awesome here? So imagine if it was like a pick your path. Like, do you want to be like this era Jedi? Do you want to be Empire? Do you want to be Bounty Hunter? And like I'm thinking for like bounty, like you enter the gates and Bounty Hunter, they take you to an area like, and essentially like you get like a bounty puck or something, right? And you have to like go find a character. Like you're paying for an experience. And so like you're getting sent around to these different areas and like getting special access and
You almost
Dude,
have like a guided tour kind of ish.
yeah, and it's just fully immersive and like I don't know, somehow they know that like you're on the tour, so people interact with you in character totally different. Like and it's
I
like
get what you're saying.
and it's like at the end, it's like obviously it's like for kids, you know, so it's like at the end of if it's like okay, 4 hours, right? For kids, yes. But at the end of like 4 hours, you're like
I'm a kid.
you're going to
I don't have any problem
catch the
saying
person. Like, well, what's awesome, like now that you know our son's almost 1, like, dude, I'm like I would have done all this stuff without him.
An excuse to do stuff.
Oh yes, dude.
We'll talk about bringing people back too. If you choose your path, right? You're like, I'm a youngling in the Republic.
Episode 3.
No, so like I'm a youngling episode 1 or 2 or whatever. Yeah, just like I'm a youngling in the prequel trilogy. And so you get to go to like Naboo, and then you go to Jabba's palace and you see the Boonta Eve, and then you go to
You start at Ilum. Like get them to Ilum, get them
Or yeah, go to
right?
Ilum
the
and like
Kyber,
you,
yeah.
what if you like pick your crystal
Yeah, like,
first out of the cave?
It's a
Yeah.
room.
That'd
It's a
be
room,
sweet.
right? So like
And you
Ilum
go-
would be dope because
and then you go through like the prequel trilogy, and then you wind up at like Petronaki Arena, and oh my god, dude, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
so
and
about it. And then you're like, that's the end of your experience. Thank you. Come back again. And you're like, well, shit. Now I want to do it again,
Well,
but
now
like a different path.
now I need to do the
Yeah.
Padawan path, and then like you
Yeah.
could do them in each. I mean, the great thing about that is you walk them into like an Ilum cave, right? So like the cave right
Yeah.
next to the Death Star, just to the left of the Death Star, you make that like Ilum, right? And you walk them in a room that's dark, and somebody turns on
Yeah.
a light, and it melts the ice on an LED wall that lifts up the door, and then they walk into a room one at a time, and their crystal lights up on like a little piece of ice, scenic, and then they go pick it out themselves, and then go leave, and then the next one comes through. So like it's that whole immersive experience of being a youngling.
That'd be
Is-
cool.
Red Sun said it awesome. It'd be cool if like as you go around the park, you hop into a starship and the walls change to hyperspace. And then
Yeah.
it lands and you go to your next planet.
Oh,
That'd be
like
so
the Elon
cool.
Musk, the people mover in Las Vegas Convention Center.
Yeah.
You can get in Teslas that take you across the convention center, so you don't have to walk it.
Oh, really?
Dude.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Even if they had land speeders, you could hop in and they're self-driving. You can
Yeah.
say where you want to go, and they just
Or it's like,
Take
or
you
if it was underground, they could make it hyperspace. So the walls are just LEDs that show hyperspace. So you're going between planet to planet underground
yeah.
in like a what they would mock up as like a one of the commuter ships where you're sitting 2 rows by 2 by 2 by 2, and then it's like a robot,
That'd be
like an
cool.
R2 like a R4 droid pushing you into hyperspace to the next area.
That'd be legit. Does anyone in chat know if that's just like a fan mock-up, or was this an idea tossed around like pre-Disney? Obviously, Lucasland kind of implies that it's pre-Disney, but I don't know. I'm hoping that there's some legitimacy to it. That'd be cool. Darth Weavin, man, you make me want to play pool more. Darth Weavin, like I see on Instagram, you're always playing pool, man, and you're good at it. Man, that
Pool
looks-
man? What is pool man?
Pool, man.
Oh, like pool?
Spaceman, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to pitch this idea of getting different channels, squadron games together, and trying to get some of these bigger YouTubers to
Oh.
basically pick their pilot, like pick a group of 5 pilots,
Mm.
and then like if I'm not very good, so I would want to commentate on it and watch as a spectator.
Yeah.
But like pick your squads and then have these tournaments between channels,
That's cool.
right? So like the winner of the last battle, whoever either finished the game faster or however you want to designate the tournament, you go to the next round, but then the person with the higher scores or whatever gets to host it on their channel. So the viewing hours go to them.
Ah,
Right.
That's pretty
like
cool.
make it like a tournament
I'm gonna
with
fix this.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think
It's the
this
same
is the
thing as
one
the-
that yeah. So this is the one I was talking about, the Millennium Falcon one.
So, what do you guys want to see? I'll zoom in.
I mean, it's principally pretty close to the other one. I think the big addition that I love is the cloud cars above the Bespin restaurant.
Oh yeah. That's
I like
cool.
Dago.
And then I really like the Matterhorn ride, except it's through
Yeah.
Hoth, and there's the AT-ATs and
Oh, I like that they added Dagobah over there to the left.
Oh, here's a pod racing ride.
yeah, and that's the Boonta Eve right there,
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
and then Hangar 94.
I'm not big on Jakku,
And then
but,
look at
some
that.
people like
Look
it.
at that. There's a Rogue One expansion coming soon. You could get rid of Takodana, and Jakku. Jakku ride would actually be pretty cool though.
Yeah, especially if you're going through if you're flipping over the crashed destroyer and going through it like the Falcon did, and kind of having those same maneuvers, that would be really dope. I would ride the hell out of that ride.
I like how Camino is. Look at this, the Django head, like
dude, the
drop
Django
slide.
head drop. I love.
I would rather that be a clone trooper head, right? I mean,
oh, that's awesome.
That would be better.
This is a fan made thing, by the way.
Yeah,
this one is fan made. Oh yeah. Well, a man can dream. Cool. That's awesome.
Children can dream. We can dream for things like that. I had this thought where it'd be really cool, and I feel like it wouldn't be too hard to do, where they kind of do the lightsaber thing, where you can come in and build your lightsaber, and it's like $200. It's a lot of money, but you get to walk out with a custom saber. I think it would be so cool, and I would totally save up the money to do it if it was $1,200, and you could go to a secret Mandalorian covert and build your own Mandalorian armor the same way that they do it with like the lightsabers, and you could like stack your armor and build it, and you would get your signet.
Oh, you're talking about like a retreat.
No,
like
this is like it's like an hour.
He's talking about like going under Savvy's workshop, and under there's a Mandalorian covert with the armor.
Yeah, you go to the covert,
that's gonna take you into
the armor is there, and she's
the armors would be like aluminum, right? Like would be like legit metal.
Yeah,
and then you get to paint it. That would be even cooler. Is if you actually got to paint your own armor, and then leave it there and come back when it dries, and then you created your own. Like what would be cool is if there was like an aluminum foundry burning in there, so you could pick your signet on the wall.
Oh, and they would like,
and then it's like, God. And then it makes it, melts it, cuts it off, and spits it out like the penny crushers.
Oh, I'm in for it. Let's do it. We should email Disney.
Oh, no! Don't email Disney. We need to set up an LLC for Space Battles Land. And we just need to make the most generic, Chinese.
What if we just made our own Mandalorian camp? I mean, I'm a blacksmith. All right.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Think about it this way, because what came to mind was a retreat. Like, let's say if wherever you want to go. I mean, just be like, let's just say Maui, right?
You could do
You're like, okay, it's gonna be.
Let's just say Maui, just for fun's sake.
$3,000. You get airfare. You get a weekend with like 6 or 7 people. All this stuff is set up, hanging out, watching Star Wars. You're doing some stuff together, and like as like a band of brothers, you guys are helping pick the insignia for each other. And dude, like you guys leave at the end of a week.
What if you had to go kill like a boar with a spear in Hawaii, and you're like, your signet is the boar?
That'd be nuts.
You earn that.
Yeah.
I'd rather go sailing or something. I have no problem hunting as long as we're going to eat it.
Your signet's an anchor.
Let's do it. Let's go, girl. That sounds awesome. And I think it would be cool to make your own armor would be a big part of the weekend. Like every night you're making a different piece. Like maybe, as a foundling, you find your own or you make your helmet first, right? And then every day you're making, like the next day you make your chest plate.
What if you 3D printed all of it ahead of time?
Yeah.
And then they just show up and paint it. Yeah, it'd be plastic, but I mean, you could chrome it ahead of time or something.
Metal. You can 3D print metal. You know what size? Can you? Oh yeah, dude. There's titanium 3D printers. Dude, you can 3D. Oh, they're expensive and they take forever, but you can 3D print out of anything. You want to 3D print out of diamonds? There's a diamond 3D printer somewhere.
I don't believe that for a minute.
Dude, there's 3D printers.
Mechanically, that makes absolutely no sense.
They liquefy the diamonds and make them cut away the other diamonds.
Can you imagine getting that print off of
diamond Luke Barbie?
Yeah.
Luke,
will you send us 2 diamond Luke Barbies, please?
But yeah, there are metal 3D printers, so you could literally do aluminum helmets and have the sizing done before the kids left for camp, so that you have 2 weeks to make the armor, and then You do stuff like hero challenges to earn your armor and to earn your stuff out there. I like the paintball idea because nowadays
I think that'd be so cool. Could you imagine setting up like a Geonosian landscape and like the clones versus the droids, and you just tape a B1 head to somebody's head, like go get him, champ. He's like, Roger.
Could you imagine putting a group of people in the forest somewhere where it's not too hot, so you're not
Southern California in the redwoods,
and then that's on fire right now. But anyway,
recreate Endor though.
Yeah, but everything is Mandalorian helmets. Like it's all Mandalorian gear except for the paintball stuff. So like it's like if you want to be a clone trooper, be a clone trooper. Like you split them up and just have
think about having to play paintball in like a stormtrooper helmet, and you're looking and you can just hear your own mouth. You're like, and you hear.
So
like,
I have,
dude, I would be in like full Ewok garb, and I'd be like smacking people with sticks and rocks.
Oh, for sure.
I have for years talked with my friends and wanted to put together the world's largest paintball game, but take over a mall. Like a mall that's no longer
with permission or without permission.
Either
Definitely
way,
without permission.
Swing
there is no way they would give permission.
Oh, there's a lot of abandoned malls in the middle of the country.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, it's a trip. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there are, especially with Amazon shutting down a lot of. Dude, there are a lot of malls that are completely abandoned in the middle of the country.
Are there any Darth malls?
There are very much dark malls. But yeah, I
Are
think
you proud of that.
Missed it. He just missed it completely.
No, I caught it. I just
walked right past it.
Casually walked past it.
He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you guys think we're gonna get Maul in any of the upcoming shows?
Yes, I think so. I don't know
Which
what. I don't know. I'd have to think about that a little more. I think the loose end from Solo is still there, and I still think that there's some pieces that need to be filled in. I think that Filoni has done a really good job of making Maul go from a interesting character to like an incredible character.
Yeah, you fleshed him out big time.
And I don't know. I just have a feeling that we haven't seen the last of him, especially with just dancing around the area that he's still alive. I think maybe not like another arc with him, but I think he may pop up again.
Are you guys excited for the Lando show?
No.
I don't feel like that's one that we needed, but it's one we're gonna get.
I just don't like what they did with Lando.
I think it could be fun. I think if Billy D. Williams is narrating and then we get to see Danny Glover act it, I think that could be a lot of fun. Because then
Danny Glover did a good job. I just didn't like the story that they gave him.
He's a cocky dude. I mean,
you liked it?
I kind of feel like, I kind of did. If you look at Lando in Rebels,
do you like Solo?
I do.
You do?
I don't dislike any Star Wars.
I do.
I dislike some Star Wars.
I can't say that. I can't say that about everything else in life, but I feel like Star Wars, I take Star Wars for what it is. I try not to take myself too seriously when it comes to it, but I feel like the sequels gave us something. It may not have been the package. It's not the Christmas present we wanted from our grandma, but it's still something nice, So
that's a very easy way of putting it.
That's the most generic way I can put it. I mean,
I got a Christmas present from my grandma once, and it was literally what I
The
think was
bubonic
a
plague.
used fitted sheet from like our linen closet. That's what it seemed like. Like it was like a floral print fitted sheet that was open. So,
I mean, yes, it's not the best thing that they've given us, and it caused a lot of problems, but I can't say I dislike any Star Wars because I got lightsaber battles. I got the Millennium Falcon.
Did you?
I got a couple. I mean, they weren't the best ones. They weren't Anakin and Obi-Wan thrashing it on Mustafar.
The best thing I think I got from the sequel trilogies was the Rebels or Resistance showing up on Takodana. That was sick. When I saw the X-Wings blasting down the lake and then Poe Dameron's just absolutely wrecking TIE fighters and Finn's like, that's one hell of a pilot. I'm like, I was sweating. I'm pumped. I'm like, let's go.
That was
like,
Force
yes.
Awakens, right?
But
Yeah.
but that's exactly what I'm talking about. So the same thing goes for the Jakku battle. Like that Millennium
That small
Falcon
portion of it was super cool.
was super dope, right? I mean, that, like I
Right.
said, it didn't give us everything we wanted. And
How did
all
she
fair.
learn to fly like that when Han Solo could have never flown the
She
Falcon like
is
that?
a
though?
secret Sith spy. That's the only way it makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a really good video where someone makes this whole video essay and makes this case of how Rey is a secret,
She's a
Sith,
secret
spy
Sith spy.
because she knows about the Millennium Falcon. She knows about
Mm.
Han Solo, but she doesn't
Mhm.
know about Luke. She doesn't know about this guy somehow, the most
The
famous
Diamond
person
Barbie?
in the galaxy. But she knows about his friend Luke.
Mm.
But she knows him
Yeah, no, stop.
as a
Just-
smuggler, and she knows how to fly. Dude, there's so much.
No,
Do you think she's Jar Jar Binks' contact?
no, stop.
I think she's Jar Jar Binks when Jar Jar Binks takes the mask off.
You guys are awesome. So,
I think it's because of poor writing, honestly, but it's not my thing. It's, sequels aren't my thing. I will say I really enjoyed. So here's the thing for me. I really enjoyed Force Awakens. I saw it in theaters like
Same.
7 or 8 times, and I've seen some criticism of it now for people who don't like the sequels, saying that was a bigger problem for the sequels than The Last
Really?
Jedi.
really.
And because they were saying after the Return of the Jedi, it doesn't make sense how they come back with a bigger weapon with Starkiller Base. It doesn't make sense how all of these things happen. There's basically it was so much fan service, nothing was left for a story. So Ryan, even though directors changed, Episode 8 didn't really have anywhere to go. It was very basic.
Shit. There were places to go.
But I will say I enjoyed it, and I was like, this is pretty cool. I saw The Last Jedi twice, and this is before I'm watching Star Wars YouTube, before I'm talking about it critically. This is like me and my family, and watched it once, and I was confused. I'm like, did I really just see that? And I went back the next day. I'm like, I'm going to try it again, and I liked it less. I went and saw Rise of Skywalker once. I don't own 8 or 9, and I haven't watched them again. I just find personally, I mean, if people like them, cool. I just get way too negative when I start thinking, talking, watching them, and I'm like, I'd rather
That's why I don't talk about them.
I'd rather get into
I'm immediately like,
to stuff I want. Like, I've been going through the novelization of A New Hope right now, man. Like, I know a lot about the EU, but I haven't read much of it myself, and I'm really, really enjoying it, man. So,
Well, let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to Solo.
let's.
So I did not hate Solo.
Okay.
I love that
I didn't hate it either.
I love that they introduced Kira. I love that I got some Millennium Falcon background. Did they F it up? Yes. Right? Did they screw up major things for me that we saw in The Last Jedi? And like for me, the dice thing is a huge thing. You can't win the Falcon playing a game of Sabacc.
You know what's funny is the dice was not a huge thing for me. The thing that drove me nuts about Solo was literally just the name.
Oh well.
That was it. That drove me nuts. They're like, Johan, who's your who are your people? He's like, I'm by myself. And he's like, Han Solo. I'm like, that's something I didn't need to know. I didn't need to know that.
Now,
Maybe
but
his
okay.
name was just his name.
Take that recruiting little 1 second a blip out of it, right? He walks up, I want to go. Okay, what's your name? Han. Han what? Don't worry about it. Cut to him getting his papers, right?
I still feel like it would have been better for him to be like, Solo.
Right. I mean, all script writing aside, is that the only thing that turned you off?
No,
What else turned you off?
a lot of it. I just felt like it's one of those movies, kind of like Marvel does, where it was made to fill in gaps in the universe that we didn't really want filled in. They were just kind of making stuff to be like, this is why this happened. And it's like, well, we
Okay,
just
so
kind of
you
assumed
didn't
that it was that way.
The Kessel Run.
So
You didn't need to see how the Falcon gets acquired, banged up.
yes,
The relationship
okay,
between
I'm good with
Lando-
that. Totally good with that. And
Lando
me
and-
being like a YT freighter lover, that was kind of cool seeing it the way it was before. And you know, it was like this really classy ship, and it was cool. And Lando has like all his cloaks in it, and blah blah blah, and like the escape pod gets jettisoned, and that's why the YT looks the way it does without that, without the escape pod in the middle.
So you're okay.
whole-
You're okay with the Kessel Run.
The only reason I liked the Kessel Run, and I don't think other people think about it the way that I think about it, is people say I made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, and people are like, well, that's a unit of like measurement of distance. It's not a measurement of time. And so for me, the only thing that movie did was that Han Solo made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs by taking a shortcut.
Right. He cheated.
Yeah, he took a shortcut. It's
Just
not
dumb.
that he did it faster, it's that he took a shortcut. So he made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs
Instead
as
of 14.
opposed to doing the straight line and making it in,
14 or higher. Okay. Now, what about?
And if that's the only thing the movie did, that was a failure as a movie.
Okay. Now, what about the relationship between Lando and Han? Do you feel like
I
it
thought you were
gave
going to
us?
say Lando and the droid.
No. We're gonna
That
get
was
to
they messed up so bad.
with the relationship of them, of how they have this little bit of disgust for one another, but still have this love.
It
for one
makes
another?
sense. I mean, it's
Or
respect among thieves kind of thing. Not thieves, but you know what I mean.
Scoundrels.
Like, respect among scoundrels.
Scoundrels.
Scoundrels. Yeah,
Scoundrels.
totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. The
Now-
droid thing completely disgusted me because they were like, "Hey, look, this is my best friend. I'm having sex with this robot."
Okay.
And all she wants to do is be free. And so to make her free, they plug her into the Millennium Falcon and
To
basically
save her life, not to free her, but to save her life.
right. But like if you were in a car accident and your neck got broken, do you want to get like stuck on life support until you die at 75 having been a vegetable for 45 years?
I get it, but it's a droid. Why are you putting so much
Right.
stock in it?
So they're
It's
going to
a
live
droid.
forever. So instead of giving her the freedom that she wants, you should plug her into the Millennium Falcon so she is destitute.
Well,
She's
it was
stuck
I mean,
in a life of servitude forever.
well, she loved that ship. Now,
That's not a good argument.
You know what I feel about Solo? I think the direction they went for Solo is this. You have the original trilogy, you have a lot of little things that were discussed and a lot of little relationships. And you look at the prequels, and George went back and he added depth to these phrases, to these minor things that people wanted to know more about. And I feel like Solo, the whole Star Wars story, we haven't gotten any more. I feel like it was people trying to do that. But I will say, I enjoyed it. It's not one of my favorites. Like when I'm listing them, it's at the bottom. But there's parts I
Definitely not
liked,
at
and
the bottom.
it kept me engaged. I mean, there's 3 other movies below it, but it's down there. But like I enjoyed it. But to me, I just feel like Donald Glover did a great job. But even like I watched a lot of Community, and I still love it. So for me, it was hard. What I like about Star Wars is when you don't see people you know. So
Right.
it kept pulling me out, and I just felt, I don't know if there were missteps for me. It was enjoyable, and I kind of just leave it at that. and it doesn't affect too much for me. But that's kind of where I'm at with Solo.
Interstellar is one of my favorite movies, and Donald Glover is like this like nerdy astroscientist, and so I see him as Lando, and I'm like, that's not you.
You're talking about The Martian.
The Martian. Sorry, not Interstellar.
Matt Damon pissed me off in Interstellar, and he redeemed himself in The Martian.
I'm just gonna leave.
So okay, but now let's talk about the droid. Does that add any value to what 3PO says when he's talking about the Millennium Falcon?
Timothy's got a good point here.
True. So yeah, does that make any sense as to why 3PO says, well, your ship has the most peculiar way of communicating? Is that because does that add any value to it for you?
No.
I mean, it's
it's actually a droid in the computer. It wasn't a ship computer. It's actually a droid mainframe that got.
It doesn't bother me, but it makes me think, like kind of like X-Wing is saying to me, it's like an explanation that I would have rather it stayed in mystery. I would have rather tried to fill it in my mind and been like, oh, this would be cool. Because now, I mean, people can make their own canon or they can adhere to what is canon. But for it to be in canon now, this is what it is. I don't know. I just think there's some things that should just be left untouched, and we don't need an explanation for everything. And I know that that's funny to say for Star Wars. But.
Okay, I like Strike's comment. What about the Han Chewie introduction?
I like that.
I don't remember that.
In the mud.
What?
You talk about
Dude,
that?
I've seen Solo like 2 or 3 times. Like,
so he gets thrown into the pit, and then like the stormtroopers are talking about him, like, yeah, this Wookiee's been eating people.
They don't even say Wookiee; they say monster.
Yeah, this monster has been like eating people, and they throw him in the pit. And then the part that bothers me is that he's getting choked to death and almost dying, and he goes like, and she was like, "Oh, you speak Wookiee?"
That was so good.
I like it. I liked everything up until the point where they start communicating.
Well, I could have gone without Han speaking Wookiee and just understanding Wookiee. Right? Like I would have been better. Chewie been like, "I'm gonna kill you," and Han going, "Dude, don't kill me." Right?
Why would you do that? And
I feel like him speaking.
And Chewie's Wookiee, like,
right, and him going, "Wait a minute," and then him be like, "Do you understand me?" He's like, "Dude, yeah, I understand you. Get the hell off of me."
Yeah, I don't speak it.
Yeah, I feel like there were some directorial faux pas, but there were scenes in that movie that really held weight for me. Right, like
director. What's interesting about that? That just brought to mind. They changed the director. Just let him go when it was done.
Yeah,
pretty much, and they switched to Ron Howard. Ron Howard is a fantastic director in everything he does, and I feel like we got a Ron Howard film, not a Star Wars film. That's what Solo feels like to me.
Well, that makes sense.
Ron Howard is fun and like engaging, entertaining, and you're like, that was a cool ride. But Star Wars isn't necessarily that. There has to be a certain flavor. It has to try and match up with George. And I feel like
because Bryce is such a good Star Wars director, I have to say this about Ron, is that it's like a chef going in and this is what you have to cook with. Right, because he didn't come in and direct any of the shots. Right, it was all after it was done, and it was post editing. Right, or did he come in? Did he come in during principal shooting?
I think he came. If I remember right, he came in post.
Okay, so that's
but he had the freedom to go back, and they went back to principal shooting, and they actually redid things.
So they
scrapped some
shooting
post.
Was over, and they did some reshoots on some things that he wanted. Okay,
a lot. Like I if I remember right, like 90%. Like
that's real hard. I still feel like that's a real hard challenge for a director.
Oh yeah,
to come in on somebody else's script with the interpretation of the script and then come and reshoot things.
Well, not only that, but shooting style, lighting, everything that goes along, everything that you inherited from starting that movie, he has to now change. And that's a lot of people hate Solo because it's so dark. But it's because everything had to be melded together from start to finish.
Right. I feel like you give Ron Howard that script from Jump Street to interpret his way. I feel like it's a totally different movie, right? Two directors. It's the same thing as the sequels. Two directors. It's one too many cooks in the kitchen. You can do them.
Oh, that's so good.
Don't try me, bro.
I feel like that it did give me some things that I like. The Han Chewie scene when they're all cleaned up after the mud and they're talking.
Yeah,
like I feel like that scene,
or the moment when they're on the lift and they're hanging out.
That's what I'm talking
about. What's your name? And he's like, and he's like, oh, Chewbacca. Like, I'm not gonna call you that. Like, I'll call you Chewie.
Yeah, like all of those moments. I guess that's what I'm saying about all of Star Wars, right? There's some stuff I just love from bookend to bookend.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that I have to go in and look for the things that I like to not be negative, because I don't want any of my Star Wars experience to be that way. Yeah. I disagree with some of the things that they're doing. The Gina Carano Emmy thing is really chapping my khakis right now.
She's in talks.
Well, no, she's not. She's out. They just released the Emmy nods, and she wasn't on the list.
No, not the Emmy nods. I'm talking about coming back.
I'm talking about respect, right? You can't give somebody an Emmy nomination for months and months and months, and then the list comes out and you boot her off.
If she was still employed by Lucasfilm, I don't think that she would have been considered for an Emmy.
If she was still in negotiations with Disney right now, she would be nominated on that Emmy because they'd be pushing her to get that Emmy. So that's why I think that her talks are bullshit, because until I see it on her fan pages and her saying it herself, I don't buy it. Because if she was on the Emmy nominations as supporting actress,
I don't care about the Emmys though.
I mean, award shows are kind of just an echo chamber, and it's just people high-fiving each other.
Well, not only that, but you basically have to pay to get them. It's like the Oscars. Right, you pay the most money to get them.
They paid the work to do it for all these months.
I'm talking about like Star Wars moving forward. She's been in talks to come back, and Filoni has said if we even get her in the office, it's going to be a win.
Yeah, and I don't think they ever get her in the office, especially if they're treating her like this. That's what I'm saying. I think those talks are BS, because if they
are you ready for bet number 2?
I am, because if they wanted her, they would.
You want to do it now? Do you want to do it now?
Wouldn't name it.
This is live stream. It's on the internet. Okay. Do you want to do another $1 to $100 bet, or do you want to make it more even?
Are you in Jay's situation?
Do we want to cut? Okay, all right. Do we want to call it 50 to 100? I'll do 100 and you 50.
I'll 2 to 1 you, because I honestly think that if they were in talks with her about her coming back, they would have left her on the Emmy to make it.
Oh, nice. Are you kidding me? No way.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll take that
way to get her back in. It's like, oh, we
my 50 to your 100.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll put yours. I'll put yours on the wall too when I get your money.
It's gonna be. You're gonna have a wall stacked with just bills by the end of this whole thing.
That's okay. I just want them signed by everybody.
Live on the internet, we got 38 people watching here. My 50 to his 100. We see Gina Carano within the next 2 years in Star Wars.
12 months, 2 years, 24 months, a long time.
Okay,
because you're talking about a year to 2 years.
Filming or actually in a show?
Actually comes out and says on her Twitter, Instagram, or anywhere that I am back in Star Wars and I am back.
12 months?
12 months. July 15th. That's unsanitary during COVID.
All right.
Yeah, I'd say I don't think so, because that would be such a bargaining chip to bring
Okay.
to bring
All
her
right,
back.
my
And say,
50
hey,
to your one. Man, I got to pay you $50 if I lose. Whatever. I'm going to win anyways. I'm
that's
going to
okay.
take that 100 and buy a bunch of
If you don't want
figures
to
for
pay
our
the 50,
trivia.
if you don't want to pay the 50, I'll take your X behind you and put it on my wall.
Oh, that's cold. I'll tell you what. I'll sign it for you.
Oh, I'm excited. What do you guys think is going to happen tonight with Bad Batch? Anything good?
Are we going to do a watch party?
I mean, you're not.
I don't know if you guys already talked about this. Is AD doing his thing anymore?
No, we're off for 2 weeks. We'll be back on next week.
The Ewoks took a couple weeks off.
Cool.
Yeah, I got to sleep for 2 weeks.
Nice.
Well, a week.
A week.
I'm thinking about being crazy and doing it tonight, though.
You could if you got the rest.
Chat, does anybody want to do a watch party?
I mean, the Germans are just waking up, so Strike will always be there. And average, I swear,
German, UK, average is just like a low bot.
He just
Dude,
doesn't
don't sleep,
bro.
I just feel like this is going to be a good episode. I just don't think it's going to be a great episode.
What's the title?
And so this is Rescue on Ryloth.
Yeah, like I said,
so Harrison Dula is going to get pulled out probably by the Bad Batch,
and we're gonna see the death of Mrs. Sandula,
Hera's parents. Yeah,
Hera's mom. The general lives, but we're gonna see the Ryloth the war basically on Ryloth that lasts like 10 years.
All right, throw 1 in the chat if you want me to stay up for another 4 hours and we can do a watch party. If I see 4 1s, I'm doing it.
Do it.
4 1s.
That's how I play my
4
video
1.
game. I was talking to somebody today about I'm on a Twitter rant right now. Not rant. I'm on a Twitter mission. I am going to try to get EK Johnson on my stream before Ahsoka comes out. So
seriously?
Yeah, I'm writing Disney formally. I'm writing her publisher and her manager, and I am going to try and get her on the channel before the show comes out.
That would be gnarly.
All
right, there's 6 1s. All right, we're doing a watch party tonight.
Yeah, that's the mission. That's the goal. We'll see how that comes over the next year, but that's one of my larger channel goals, is to get to a point where I can get her or Ashley. Ashley would be cool too. But yeah.
Cool too?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Should be all right.
Should be cool too.
Mister's been like, what have you been doing this whole time, by the way?
Me?
Googling.
Yeah.
Doing all sorts of stuff.
You just like, he's editing a video while he's like, what?
Doing all sorts of stuff.
You guys have been putting out some stuff lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figuring
I'm
out
kind of jelly. I hit him up. I'm like,
system.
hey, can I be part of your videos?
Yeah, we're figuring out a system to batch, film, edit, and post and schedule. My goal is this, and maybe, I don't know, maybe nobody cares but us 3, but it's Boomer Council, so why not? I'm trying to get to a point where we're like 6-7 weeks ahead, like in scheduling. So we're going to go to like every other day in a release schedule. And so then it frees us up more for streams to think more about that kind of stuff, the life and lore.
Dude, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I heard a guy, he was saying he was good for like over 80 weeks. He had content scheduled out. And he spent a long time getting stuff in the hopper, and then he's going
to do when you're trying to stay current, though.
But we're not. That's the thing.
Yeah, I guess you're doing a lot of OG.
I'm super bad at YouTube.
Because I'm not. So what we're trying to do is trying to just speak about the things we like and the things we love, and I found me in particular when I talk about like Bad Batch or some of the newer stuff, I'm a little more. So here's the thing: I don't dislike it, but I'm a little more cynical in that I like watching things in their entirety. So I like watching a season or a series from start to finish so I can judge it appropriately.
And then talk about it.
And so I'm going episode by episode with The Bad Batch. And that is creating a little more negative tone than I'm hoping. Like all the videos we've done on The Bad Batch, the most popular one is one that I did on the problems with The Bad Batch. And I was like, that's kind of the opposite direction we want to go. So with that, we're just I'm just kind of avoiding newer stuff. On once Bad Batch is done, we'll go back and give a fair review and stuff. But like that's just how YouTube works though. Like the more negative videos, like even though we try and still be constructive, like here's how it would have been better, those are the most successful. And I mean,
your biomes video just hit like what 10,000 views.
Well, I mean, dude, Biomes was quality content, you know.
Yeah, and that's nuts, man.
And you bashed the shit out of it, right?
I just kept saying I don't like it. I said what would be cool. It offended some. Go look at the comments. It offended people.
I haven't gone through it yet.
Dude, there's a guy who made after our video started picking up. I think once we hit like 3,000 views or something.
Yeah.
This guy made a video about biomes, and his thumbnail literally takes our caption. And he put it in there. And I'm like, dude, we are nobodies. Like, you have way more subscribers.
No, now you're somebody. You made it.
It literally says,
YouTube
like,
hater.
You got a huge troll. Oh.
It's like Star Wars Biomes, the show no one asked for. Yes, no one asked for it. And it's just him playing Battlefront.
Oh my God.
Like I said,
you made it.
If you want some quality entertainment, bro, go read those comments because it's worth a giggle.
I'm gonna have to go do that because I got some time to fill.
That's also what you were getting to is that the people prefer the negativity.
Yeah,
you get a lot more clicks with.
It used to be sex sells. Well, that still does happen, but hate sells now just as much as sex does.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the. So I think it was Star Wars Casual and Average, and I think Aiden and Strike, and they were bashing. I think I didn't even watch it because I didn't want to get into the negativity at the moment. But weren't they bashing Mike Zero in one of their streams?
I'm never gonna bash that guy because the dude has just figured it out. That's the thing. Look, the dude is spewing misinformation, but I'm not gonna say that the way that the really sweaty bad people say it, like stop spreading misinformation.
Well, I mean, aside from the misinformation,
he's creating hype stuff. Like, good for you, bro.
There's and maybe because it's YouTube and it's content creators, but there's kind of an unspoken code, let's say, amongst journalists, right? And you don't really
he's not a journalist.
You don't really scoop somebody's scoop, right? Like, so you don't like take somebody's article and plagiarize it, basically. And there has been some of that with his channel that I've seen over the years.
I don't want to talk about that stuff.
You know, but
I just don't want to talk about that stuff.
I found it entertaining that the young content creators that don't have much going on, really, they're building their little empire. They went right after right after one of the guys up there. Like, I think it's kind of telling because ABJ scooped something awesome, and that stuff is hard to come by. Is my point, right? So, I think it is important to
gross
mention it.
We can spend an hour talking about me and Star Wars theory, but we're not gonna.
Should I start doing like Star Wars ASMR?
Oh my God! Can we get it? Yeah,
where I like crank the gain and talk all.
That's what it is, basically.
Here we go, guys. We're gonna get some Mr. 2 Star Wars Nerds ASMR.
What I should I read something from the New
please
Hope
don't.
novelization?
No, unless it's like a legit scene. Oh, what about the cantina scene?
If I can find that really quick.
We were talking about how like the novels in Star Wars just outweigh the movies, which seems almost impossible. But even in Star Wars, the movies still don't hold a candle to the books.
But nothing
Which seems
Nothing.
impossible, but it's totally true. Like the scene with the Emperor, we'll call him Shivi. Shivi in his office when the Jedi come to arrest him in the book compared to the movie, the book is effing brutal. I'm talking like this dude gets his face cut in half and sits there and his face just like falls off to the side, and he sets up the whole holo recorder to think that like something's happened. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. I've thought about doing excerpts from books with just like pictures on the screen, but I'm like, Theory does that already.
I mean,
I still think it'd be fun though. I don't really have a voice for
the books are always going to be
audiobooks
than any movie, really. I mean, when you break it down, Ready Player One was amazing compared to.
Is there a book for that?
Oh my God!
For Ready Player One?
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
Really?
There's a Ready Player Two book already out too that they're making a movie off of. Also,
I just saw the Iron Giant in the trailer, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch this.
It's an amazing movie, but
there was no Star Wars though, was there? I don't remember a Star Wars reference.
I don't think
anywhere.
So. All right. Do you want to hear this? So do you want to hear that part from A New Hope novelization?
Yes, my friend. I would love to hear that excerpt from the book. Go ahead and cue it up, my friend.
You want me to crank up the gain a little bit?
Send it, bro.
I don't know. People don't. Okay. So for
just watch the viewer count as it goes from 40 down to 5 to 2 to
what if it goes up?
Dude, I bet you we hit 55. Let's go.
What if
Look
I
at that mustache.
1,000 subs right now. Mustache. So for those of you who don't know, this is from A New Hope novelization. The book is very, very brutal, and there is a scene where Obi-Wan in the cantina cuts someone in half with a lightsaber. And so that's what this is. So it says, in the split second when the gun and its owner's attention was off him, the old man's hand had moved to the disc slung at his side. The short human started to yell as a fiery blue-white light appeared in the dimness of the cantina. He never finished the yell. It turned into a blink. When the blink was finished, the man found himself lying prone against the bar, moaning and whimpering as he stared at the stump of an arm. In between the start of his yell and the conclusion of the blink, the rodent thing had been cleft cleanly down the middle, its two halves falling in opposite directions. The giant multicellular creature stood still, staring dazed at the old human who was poised motionless before it, the shining lightsaber held over its head in a peculiar fashion. The creature's chrome pistol fired once, blowing a hole in the door. Then the torso peeled away as neatly as had the body of the rodent, its two cauterized sections falling in opposite directions to lie motionless on the cool stone.
Obi-Wan's a dick.
It's crazy, man. Slices him in half.
Got him up right.
What's with the
I always kind of figured that was the way it was going to be, you know?
But what's interesting
Obi-Wan
about
didn't
this
slice off his hand. How do you just cut somebody's hand off and not kill him? Not even hand, arm.
Well, I mean,
but what's interesting is that was the original script treatment. So that was before. Right. I mean, that was before the movie. So, but the book is brutal. It's
cool. I mean, the books always have a lot more detail than the scripts, and they always have more. They're a little more graphic than we see on screen, and there's always hidden gems in all the books that don't make it to the screen. Harry Potter's a great example. There's a lot of hidden little storylines that are in the background in the books that you don't have enough time to fill in the movies, and I feel like a lot of that is the same way when it comes to technology of the day. Maybe they didn't have the technology to slice a person in half like that and make it believable. The cutting off of the arm thing, I cauterized as soon as it's cut off, so there's no bleed out. Same way Maul fell down the shaft, his cauterized. So
there is something cool in A New Hope novelization. Like, so this is what I'm enjoying, like, kind of to circle back with the past 20 minutes or so, with wanting to stay excited about the future of Star Wars but not be negative about it, and just kind of keep that enjoyment and excitement up. Part of that journey for me has been going back to the EU into older stuff and revisiting it.
Yeah.
And so a thought I've had rewatching the original trilogy recently is when 3PO's being dismembered or dismantled, and it's like even Chewie's just kind of like haphazardly putting him back together. I'm like, it seems like that would be really difficult to do, like to just put a robot back together, a droid, back together. But in the novel, it says that basically the way C-3PO was built, that if it was like an arm that came off, not at the joint, there was these like auto sealers that basically sealed off the mechanical nerves. And so then what could happen is you could simply reattach it and do a little bit of work, and then his internal mechanics would start reconnecting all these mechanical nerves.
It's almost like sentient technology.
Yeah, and like that's cool, and like it even talks about how C-3PO's ears, if you will, are omnidirectional, but he was programmed to turn his head like he was listening, so he would appear human-like and blend in. And that's the stuff where I'm like, I've never thought about that.
That's cool.
And
yeah.
It's like those little things like that.
Why would
like,
3PO be like,
yeah.
Are these modifications that Anakin made though when he found him? Is the question. Right? Like are all those superior things what makes 3PO different from every
Well, I mean,
other?
he got the big upgrade from the Naboo engineers when he gave it to Padme. When he gave 3PO to Padme.
Right, but some of
when
those
he got gold plated, and
some of those things could have been Anakin's manufacturing on Tatooine when he didn't have shells. Because he even says that when he leaves. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't get to finish you. I didn't get to put your shells on and stuff like that." But it seemed like all of the mechanics and his sentientness was already there.
But he went back and he got him though. Before, I mean, like through the middle of the Clone Wars, 3PO was back.
Well, like you said, didn't he end up on Naboo with Homegirl? So they went and got him at some point, right?
That was I think that was his wedding present to Padme, was 3PO.
Oh,
gold plated.
In the second movie, in episode 2, when they went back to Tatooine for his mother, is when they took 3PO with him.
Yeah. So he could have done that after.
Scene.
And he had skin then. Right? Because
he wasn't gold plated.
No, but I mean that, like you said, he got upgrades after the wedding.
Yeah.
When Anakin got his new mitt. So maybe they were in surgery together. Anakin got a new mitt and 3PO got some gold.
Could be.
Like then
looking across
the table.
It won't let me bring it up. Open up the comment.
Do it.
Open the.
I think you have to click with your mouse. And he's gone.
I have foreseen.
This is our council now.
He's gone. It's mine now.
First, I can't get on.
Now you're in charge.
Can't stay.
Hi.
You probably just tried to watch every episode of Jersey Shore at the same time, and it just kicked me.
Oh, you just crashed your internet?
No. Wookiees weave wood into their technology. Normal circuitry is probably easier.
That's crazy.
That's what I was trying to bring up. For the love of God.
Well, and
is
there
Jersey
is that...
Shore still a thing?
Oh yeah,
it is to Mrs. X-Wing. Yeah, she loves that stuff.
Like the people are still like not new people. The same.
They're like alive. They did like a after stream.
They're just started remaking the shows. Yeah. Basically they just revived everything.
The guy,
yeah.
Shit, what's his name? The Situation.
Michael.
he's been like sober for 15 years now, guy.
He's
and
the
he's
one
like
like
so
with the hair
proud.
and like with
I have
the
I have
tank
a
top and the
picture.
tan and the muscles.
That's all them guys. What are you talking about? It's all them guys.
And he looked so messed up.
So
He didn't look too good.
I have a question. Is this something you would want as a non-canon novelty? Would you want like almost like experimental Star Wars universe things where it's like what would people watch for entertainment in the Star Wars universe? Like if you got like an episode of some show somebody would watch, you know? Because thinking, I mean, there's got to be some form of entertainment. I don't know if I know Holiday Special kind of went into that, but that's a whole nother thing. But would you guys want that even if it wasn't in like
Are you talking about like interdimensional cable, but it's Star Wars?
Yeah, I mean if there was just like some, I don't know, it could even be on April Fools or something. Just as long as we're getting good content, if we got something where it's like, hey, if you know, this is what they would have watched on Tatooine, or this is what they would have watched on Naboo, like kicking
you're
off
talking
their
about
shoes,
like TV in the Star Wars universe.
yeah, like
100%. Yeah, 100%.
like I wonder if there was Star Wars like reality shows.
Well, you were talking about it in your video the other day, and Mrs. Two Star Wars Nerds shut you down, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah. the
horror movie?
yeah, the Wampa horror
Yeah, the
movie.
Wampa horror movie. I'm super down with that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that whole deleted scene is so ridiculous.
I love it. The claws at the ice.
I love how C-3PO rips off, like he's like, ding, ding. Oh
That's
wait,
a great deleted scene.
Yeah.
rips off the warning so that
Or what if Yoda was like super rapey?
that was it. He was like,
You remember when he's on his back and he's like, I feel like that's such a perfect Family Guy scene when he's like, use the Force, Luke.
Do you see the Padawan Boba Dog the Bounty Hunter? Then
Boba Dog, the bear.
Jedi Scum, Real Housewives of Coruscant.
Rancor fights. Ultimate pod racing.
Oh man, Real Housewives of Coruscant. That'd be wild.
Oh my god.
That'd be so good.
I kind of cops on Coruscant.
That would actually be
Cops on
super
Coruscant
cool.
would be awesome. Yeah, we got to call on 1313. Got to get down there.
Oh, did you guys watch the stream of Transmute Pictures?
The
They
Q&A?
did yeah, they did like a visual effects one.
Yeah.
They said that a future episode is going to be on 1313.
That's kind of amazing.
It's gonna be
I asked
wild.
them if they were going to give an Operation Cinder episode, and they didn't say anything when I was talking to them. But it wasn't that guy, and I don't remember his name.
The guy you were talking to, or the guy?
No, I
last
talked to
night?
Andy, and you talked
to like the two guys, right? Like
yeah,
the guys.
yeah.
Anakin on the dating show.
Oh god,
Vader on the dating show.
Vader on the dating show. I kind of like that.
He's a Sith Lord, ladies. He carries a nice bright red lightsaber.
90-day Padawans.
Stormtroopers being picked like The Bachelor.
Oh god, is it time to end the stream already?
Oh, dude, this isn't getting half as bad as the Discord does sometimes.
No, I know the Discord
gift
is
wars are
absolutely awful.
Well, how about this? Not to keep going to like favorite moments, but like if you're thinking about the original trilogy, right? Not resisting the urge to dig back into the prequels or to go into animated shows or books or anything like that. Just standalone original trilogy. What is like your moment in those three? Like what's like
Dagobah.
Yeah, like what in particular about Dagobah?
So it was the moment when Luke is straining. He's trying to pick up the X-Wing. And he can tell something wrong. And his eye opens and it falls and he says, "It's impossible." And Yoda says, "That is why you fail." I was like, I'm going to take that with me forever. The reason I'm failing is because I don't believe in myself enough. And so he sticks his 3 little fingers out and he pulls it out and drops it. And it's like, for me, that was the biggest part, because Luke always had a lot of self-doubt. Even though he acted like he knew what he was going to do, he wanted to go to Cloud City. He wanted to save people. I don't think he ever really believed he could do it, even though he was trying to convince himself he could. And that moment when Yoda shows him, like, you think you're bad, bro, but let me show you that bad comes in little packages and it's real humble, and drops the X-Wing. It was just... And the music, I mean, John Williams ruined me in that moment. And that's always my Star Wars sound, is that Yoda theme. When he's raising the X-Wing, that's always going to be my Star Wars sound.
Yeah. That what's even cool about all that, when at the beginning of their encounter on Dagobah, when Yoda says, it just brings it full circle with the do or do not. There is no try. And that's a terrible Yoda. But, you know, like... But that's like... Those kind of moments are really cool in Star Wars, because not only do you see, you know, the whole Joseph Campbell hero's journey, you see all of that. You see this amazing character development, but then it brings you back to your life, and you can start reflecting. You're like, I was supposed to be like leaving the real world, not like getting introspective and like Yoda speaking to me like I'm on Dagobah, you know? Like,
yeah,
that's legit, man.
I was thinking about you today. I was driving home.
Me
I left my
or
tool
Airmal?
bag. No, I was thinking about you. I was driving home from a job, and I realized I left my job, my tool bag, at a different job, and I'm like, oh crap, I got to drive back. And I was listening to it was the Empire Strikes Back soundtrack, and I'm driving down the road, and I was thinking about you, because like you always make me kind of think about like the deeper themes in Star Wars, right? You always kind of bring me back to the deeper themes. It's not always so much like, you know, lightsabers and this and that. Two Star Wars Nerds always makes me think about like how this stuff relates to my life. And so I was thinking about it, and it was funny because as I went through every scene of the original trilogy, it always brings me back to a lesson that I've already learned in my life. And when I go back and I watch it, you know, when I was watching it as a kid, it was like, wow, this is really inspirational. And then as I got older, I started to think like, these are all things that have happened to me in my life already, and I can relate to them. And that's why we call the original trilogy timeless, is because for young kids, it's something that's inspiring. For older people, it's something we can look back on and be like, I remember when we did that. I remember when I went through that moment. I remember that feeling of that challenge, that triumph, that pain, that hurt. Like, it's all there.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Like, I know for me, even like one of my favorite, probably my favorite moment in the original trilogy. Oh, that was good. Did you see that comment?
No, I didn't see it.
That was really good.
Right.
I had to wait to see the reaction. One of my, you know, my favorite moment in the original trilogy has to be in Return of the Jedi, when Luke and Vader are fighting, and Luke literally can, like, he's just going crazy, and like I mean, granted, he's not really trained in forms, but he's just like, you just see like anger and rage in his eyes.
You're talking about the throne room as he's like beating on him. Yeah.
And I'm thinking to his first encounter with Vader and his dad, when Vader picks up the pace from how he fought Obi-Wan, and he's just going crazy with Luke, and like there's all of this stuff, and in that moment, that's where Luke decides, he's like, I'm not going down the path of my father. Like, I'm actually gonna, I mean, you could say it this way, he's gonna break off that generational thing, right there. Like he's going to be different. He's going to go a different direction. And like he actually resists the temptation, the urge to like, I guess, submit to the dark side, if you will. And for me, like, I mean, just in Star Wars, that's amazing. But then, yeah, I always think about my own life, like, oh, dang, man, like those moments where you feel like that, you know, where you feel like Luke, like swinging away, and you're like if I continue down this, like I'm not going to be any different than, you know,
Him.
like in my life. I'm just going to speak for my life, right? Why it speaks to me. Like I'm not going to be any different than my dad, you know, and that relationship is not great there. But it's like to be able to see stuff like this in Star Wars and
relate to it.
Yeah, dude. And it's like,
yeah, in a galaxy far, far away.
But I think that's what, like you said, what's so timeless is it's like people can see themselves in it. It's not about, yeah, it is about space, and it is about family, and it is about science fiction and fantasy and all this. But it's like at the end of the day, it's George. I mean, you look at what he studied, and it's like, yeah, man, he was really wanting to make sure that we would be able to like get mythology into like actually change our lives.
And the cool part too in those moments is that for us kind of coming back and looking on it, I wish I could have watched it in
I'll be right back.
77, 80 and 83, is that the dark side and the light were still a huge mystery to us as people. You know, we didn't understand what the light and the dark were. We didn't have this full fleshed out universe. It was all just kind of there. And he says it too. George just expected you to keep up with it. You know what I mean? He didn't provide explanations for everything. He just said, that's the way it was, and I expect you to keep up with it. And it was up to your brain to fill in those gaps and create that universe in your mind. Mm-hmm. Whereas now, they're just kind of like, this is why this happened. And it's like, kind of a cheap trick.
Well, I mean, you got to fill in the gaps. I mean, you can't retell the same story over and over and over again, right? And as much as people say, you know, The Force Awakens is A New Hope, yeah, kind of, but not really. It's got its similarities and it's got its ups and downs, but you know, you gotta, and that's the thing, is you gotta take what you take out of it. That's what I keep saying, is I know a lot of people are not fans of specifically fans of the sequels, but for me, probably one of the most important things to learn in Star Wars is in that movie. And it's very hard for me to throw
in The Force Awakens,
in the last the Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker for sure.
Right. So
when Yoda shows up,
yeah, because I just did a video on mentors, and I mentor people,
and good one.
And it's true, because that's the lesson that everybody forgets, right? And that's the lesson that they're trying to teach Anakin throughout the entire prequels, through most of the Clone Wars, is to let go of the things you love.
Right.
Just have to let go, right? And that we don't get any of that teaching, right? That failure is the best teacher, that our Padawans should get better than us, right? We should teach our apprentices, and to be good mentors means to teach them better than you and to let them fail, because failure teaches us.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we are what they should be and more. They should be better than us.
They are what we should be and more.
Right. That's what I mean. They should be us plus.
By the way,
so
if anybody is here that has not subscribed to Timothy Allen, our good friend of the channel, just look at that mustache. If you're not going to subscribe for anything else, the man has an amazing mustache. Go over there. He does some great talks about Star Wars, deep dives. Honestly, I put my headphones in when I'm at work and I listen to him talk about stuff, and it is so soothing. He's got a voice like none of the three of us have. It It just hits on the right note. So go sub to Timothy, get him to that 500.
Yeah, man. What's so cool about his stuff? I mean, one, his intro is so cool. It's so perfect
Yeah.
for his channel, you know, like making the coffee with the press. But what I like about his stuff so much is that it's like, and I don't know if it's intentional or not. Maybe I just look way too into things, but I feel like I'm sitting at a table with him and
Just talking.
and I'm like, hey man, what do you think about this? And it's
Yeah.
just like from the heart,
Let's have
and
some
it's so
coffee.
real, man. Like, dude, great stuff.
On a rainy day with a warm cup of coffee, Timothy
yeah.
just makes me feel at home.
Dude, it's like if like lo-fi chill stream, like
Yeah.
real conversations are your thing, dude, you got to be there.
Yep.
Seriously.
We hit 2 hours, gentlemen. That's it. I'm out. Can't do anything else.
You're not going to stream all the way through to the watch party
Until
and
midnight?
I'm not, but I mean,
I'm not.
I want
No,
to see your
gosh.
reaction.
I can talk a lot. I can't talk that much. It'd be like 11:15. I'm like, buffet.
That'd be when we're like reenacting the cops on Coruscant.
Yeah. It'd be Backstroke of the West and reenacting Cops on Coruscant.
Backstroke of the West.
No, I think that was good. That was a solid 2 hours. We ran 6:30 to 8:30. That's a lot of Star Wars talk. And we didn't talk about the original trilogy barely at all.
We got like 10 minutes in.
Yeah, there was a solid 10 in there. But yeah, no, I think we're gonna call it. We could keep going for 3, probably pretty easily. But we gotta save some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta
there's
save
some exciting stuff
things.
tonight.
Tonight's going to be interesting. I got a lot of hope for it. I got 6 ones, so I guess I'm staying up until midnight. I'll do a little pre-stream with the community if anybody wants to hop in. We'll do a pre-stream from probably 11:30 to midnight and hang out, and then we'll watch the episode, and then I'm going to bed because I still have to go to work. So, anything you guys want to say?
I'm going to the zoo tomorrow. And it's going to be my son's first time. Super excited about that. It has nothing to do with Star Wars. No, but Star Wars.
Might see a bantha.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll see like the wampa scratching in the polar bear. But no, I mean Star Wars related. You know, I'm just happy to have these kind of conversations. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. I'm not plugging myself, so.
Why not?
I could, I guess. We hit 200 subs today, so that was really cool. You know, like I didn't expect anybody to follow us, but honestly, what we want to do is just talk positively about Star Wars and talk about the stuff we love. And we're just rewatching all the stuff we love. We have a Clone Wars video coming out on Sunday. We're covering all the arcs we love in the Clone Wars, and we have one coming out. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow on Boba Fett and Empire Strikes Back. So,
ooh,
yeah, I'm
nice
excited about those. Boba Fett's my favorite.
Sweet.
Monsieur Obsession.
Yeah, hopefully Saturday or Sunday we will have maybe some artwork for our lightsaber Leia and Prince Luke of Alderaan. So I think the first draft of that will be Sunday. I may probably put it in the Discord for you guys to take a look at. But yeah, we're gonna do some merch out of that. Yeah, we're just trying to do some different stuff. Some stuff been done before, so I figure those are fun parodies that we've been talking about for a while. So yeah, we'll see how the artists do in the end when we take a look. But that's happening. I think we're gonna try to do either a private or a Discord audiobook reading. We're gonna do that again. We're gonna start from the beginning.
Wasn't working out on the old
They
live deal.
The publisher shut it down the next day.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Which was
So
totally
sad.
expected. No, I mean I totally
Yeah.
expected. In fact I said at the beginning of the stream, if they shut us down in the middle, cool. But I think we're gonna do it in the Discord maybe, or we'll do it on a private so that people can get invites.
Yes, they are. How are they not?
No, they're not.
They were born there.
No, they were
No.
born
Where
on
were they
an
born?
asteroid base.
Mm.
Mhm.
That's true because they were taken. Yeah,
And then
Padme didn't give birth on Coruscant.
that's true.
nope, she
They
left.
might have been made on Coruscant, though. Ooh, ooh.
I think they probably,
All right.
whatever.
Okay. All right.
so
All
yeah.
right. No, that's it. That's it. All right. We're done. We're leaving. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Are you gonna 3D print us some Luke Diamond
Diamond-
Lukes?
Some Diamond
Diamond
Luke.
Lukes.
Oh! John Claude Van Damme here.
And we're gonna get taken down for all right, guys, stick around because I'll talk to you in a minute here. Okay, that's it. Thank you for showing up for another Boomer Council. This was so much fun. Obviously, the boys, respect the boys. Go subscribe. Come on. They're the reason we're here tonight. It's been fun hanging out with all you guys. Thank you so much for being a big part of the chat. I love you all. Remember, stay positive. This is Star Wars. Let's have fun in a galaxy far, far away and stop bringing here there. I love you guys. Have a good night. I hope today finds you well. I hope tomorrow finds you better. And I will see you on the next one, okay?